Yes, hello. Yeah, is that 911? Yeah. I would like to report a break-in. Yeah, police. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to report a break-in. It happened about 5 minutes ago. I had gone down to the store to get my groceries, and then when I came back, somebody had been in my office. Because because it smells of ass. It smell it smells of ass. Hey, I know it's not my ass. I know the smell of my own ass. That's why I'm calling you. Somebody broke in. Well, I do think it is a 911 call. So I'd like Hello? Ah, hi, I'm Michael O'Hare, ex-CEO, philanthropist, all-round life coach, and the author and founder of the worldwide acclaimed Best in Business seminar series. Welcome to my live Q&A. This evening, we will be talking about questions related to business, and I've received many questions through on the email already. Um, I am basically a business guru. I help people out. I coach them through professional development. You've probably seen many of my videos or been one of the tens of thousands who've attended my Best in Business seminar series. Tonight, we're not going to spend very long. We're just going to answer some of the questions that have come through. Some may come through on live chat. I'm getting some through now. But what I would say is focus on being the best. Take what you can from it. You may have been new to business, you may have been in business for years, but either way, all of us can take a little something from this evening. So without further ado, let's crack into some of this. The first email I've got from somebody called Loretta Tongue from Milwaukee. Loretta Tongue. A very odd name, a body part as a surname, but she asks, should I put my picture on my resume? Well, Loretta, it depends what your picture is of. If your picture is of another body part, I mean, really, you have to think about what your employer is seeing. They're trying to figure out what that lump might be, what my crevice might indeed be too. So I would say you really need to think about and you've very kindly sent through your resume here with a good Lord. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You look like a smashed pink grapefruit that's been squeezed through a keyhole. You look like cheese coming out of a grater, and good Lord, and that one in the bottom right hand corner, you sent several into like a roadkill. Um, it doesn't say what you're applying for, Loretta. If you're working on your own, you should be fine. If you're a data scientist, replacing Xerox paper or working in a call center, you should be fine. Indeed, even if you are applying for a role where you have a specific need for a scary face, yes, those would be very helpful. Working with others, no, no. My advice would be use a fake photo. Get to the interview, said you were part of a failed clinical drugs trial, you were in a nuclear accident, or you fell into a cement mixer. I hope that helps, Loretta. Okay, next question that came through. Yes. Is there an etiquette to a corporate buffet? This is from Chad Woodrow from Houston in Texas. Well, Chad, thank you. There are three types of corporate buffet: the hot finger buffet, the cold finger buffet, and the Warren buffet. Now, I would advise about fingering Warren Buffett. I know a couple of people who did that. That was the end of their career. They were blacklisted in finance thereafter. Um, but I would say let's take the cold finger first. Two things: pile up the plate. A person with a big plate looks in control, hungry for food, hungry for profits. The other thing you want to take is probably small pieces. There is nothing worse than being caught at a networking event with a mouthful of food. So take small pieces, preferably ones that you could swallow whole if needs be. Hot finger buffet, pretty much the same thing. Although you have to be a little bit more careful. You want to avoid grease stripping. I've been to many events when I've seen corporate execs with ties that basically look like a filthy lap dancer's pole at a greasy joint. And the other thing to avoid is chili. I had a chili enchilada at when I hosted Miss Finance Business Awards in 1983 in Albuquerque. Unfortunately, 10 minutes after having it, I found that I was having to deal with a rogue and very loose stool in my suit pants. So hopefully those will help you. Chad, I'm just having a look through some of the messages now. Yep. Okay, got another one here. If money doesn't grow on trees, why are banks called branches? That sounds like a Christmas cracker joke. I don't know. I didn't invent that one. Um, how are you supporting your employees during this time? We'll come on to that a little bit later on, because actually we'll come on to it now. I had an email from a Ms. Stephanie Taper. She is the deputy CMO at Timpsons, a small company in the UK. CMO being a chief marketing officer, although she isn't quite the chief marketing officer. She is a deputy. She says, quite a long-winded email this one. Dear Michael, during this unusual time for everyone, I feel fortunate to have been able to keep working with my colleagues, albeit remotely, through Skype and Zoom. My colleagues and I discussed ideas for projects that might bolster the nation's morale once the worst of the crisis is over. The amalgamated results of our discussions concluded that the ultimate feel-good moment for the UK nation would consist of Dame Vera Lynn singing a medley of her hit songs, as well as Nobody Does It Better by Carly Simon and Papa from Oliver, the musical. Of the Roof of Buckingham Palace. Oh, very good. Yeah. Ideally, she would be backed by Brian May on guitar, as well as Liam and Noel from The Oasis. Well, this is very well thought through. Afterwards, there would be cakes baked by the Chelsea pensioners by Mary Berry and Prue Leith in a symbol of unity, with Sandy Tux Vig doing Vox Pops. Our work team also felt Holly Willoughby would be a popular choice to host the coverage, but felt that Philip Schofield wouldn't quite be suitable for this important fixture due to recent unpleasantness. All in all, we felt this would make a very cheering event for the UK public to enjoy. Thank you, Stephanie. She just wonders if the best in business had any surprising plans to help boost the country's spirits at this time. And is there anything that they could recommend? Well, thank you, Stephanie. Yes, we do. We've been doing many little things. We've been taking calls, resumes, having online seminars, giving foot massages to the elderly. But there are probably three main things that I would bring out here. First, I would say, is a very profound and strategic statement. What if the coronavirus wasn't here? Let's pretend. Let's pretend it wasn't here, and let's just work. Number two, we have sent 3.5 million unsolicited emails from our Indian Service Center subsidiary in Bangalore to all American citizens, well, 3.5 million of them, with basically a link to a video of me standing erect with a small 9-year-old deaf child singing the Star-Spangled Banner behind me. And thirdly, I have been sending out random tune selections from my iTunes player to people, colleagues, clients, whoever. And the one that I have really been fixated on recently is Tangerine Dream, Love on a Real Train. It reminds me very much of fond memories of my son Oxford watching his very first soft pornographic film with his father. Hope that helps, Stephanie, and hope that also helps Porcelain Figment about how we are supporting employees and generally the public in this time. So another email. Should I get myself a PA, a personal assistant or a secretary? This is from Vivian Hyundai in New Malden, England. Thank you, Vivian. Very odd surname again. Get two. You need one, an internal facing one and an external facing one. The internal one for your private office. You want somebody who's intelligent, attractive, funny. The external one, very different. You need somebody who is like a brute, a character from Lord of the Rings, you would say. Basically, you want somebody who can stop junior executives coming and disturbing you during your lunch break in your private office. Essentially, somebody who says, "You shall not pass." That is the type of person we have at Best in Business. And that's Barbara, our chief global receptionist, who unfortunately is one-eyed, which kind of adds to the ogre figment of her. Although she has forced herself on some junior members of staff at the Christmas party. So a bit of an HR problem there too. Thank you, Vivian. Right. So the next one we have is, what's the best way to unwind after a hard day's work? Great question. Well, you can do whatever you want, really. I mean, the things I tend to be involved with, light featherweight boxing. I love watching men just sort of jabbing each other, very, very little. It's very sort of mano y mano. I'm a cheese and wine enthusiast, although I've had to stock up recently, and I've had to do it on my own. I also just like listening to music and maybe going for a walk just on the spot, given the quarantine situation. So that's what I like to do. Thanks for your question, MC. What's your view on hot food in the office? This is from Anushka in Vermont. Anushka, ay, ay, Anushka, 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 ay, ay, ay. Yep. Okay, my attorney has asked me to retract that culturally insensitive comment. So I retract that culturally insensitive comment. Apologies, Anushka. Hot food, I presume. What's your view on hot food in the office? Hot food, I presume you're referring to temperature rather than sexy food. Well, hot food can be very, very smelly. But if you've got your own private office, your smell. But if you're in an open plan, you need to be very socially aware. Michael Hare, probably one of the most socially aware individuals that I know, but not everyone is. Most people probably need to be made aware of the smell that the hot food makes. So my advice to you, Anushka, would be start small and subtle. Maybe just drop some subtle hints like, what's that odd smell? Oh, do you eat fish and eggs on every day? And then if those sort of hair signals aren't really being kind of picked up, you want to then jump to the nuclear option. So you want to spray them with deodorant, industrial strength preferably. Call them smelly. It's not libelous. It's factual. Bag and bin the fish, preferably. Or indeed just burn it on site. I'm sure there's some sort of rules in place saying you can't do it. So take it outside the workplace and do it there. So that's my view on hot food in the office. Some other ones in it. What do I do if I can't pronounce my employee's name? This is very difficult, but thankfully the 21st century has saved it. Because basically using somebody's name is very important. I've made a video about that. I've been very clear that if you want people to listen to you, you have to use their name. But unfortunately, some people in this culturally sensitive world get very precious about their names. I, for one, do not like being called Mickey O'Harry. I once slapped a 90-year-old war veteran for doing so, and I was fully justified. Unfortunately, I had to do some community service, and I gave him 1 share in the company as payback. But what I would suggest, if you want to pronounce your employees' names properly, get them to say it loudly and clearly to every single person they meet. And if you still get it wrong, just call them Bob, and laughter follows, usually. No, my attorney is saying the correct way is just ask. There you go. Well, you've just come out of law school. I've been doing this for years. So next question is from Mike P in Wichita. Thank you, Mike. Can I steal work items for personal use? Well, Mike, I'm going to be very honest with you here. That is called theft. Pure and simple. However, there is a way to get around that. You can buy items and expense your company for them. Now, we're all working from home. A lot of us right now are. And I just the other day billed the best in business for 10,000 Bic Biros, 300 inkwells, 25,000 USB cables, 10 100-inch monitors, and 500 pints of hand lotion, which I found out later on cannot be used for internal use. Now, as well as just products, this also extends to hospitality. A lot of people at the moment are being very careful about their mental well-being. A lot of people not speaking to one another because of the quarantine situation in many cities across the world. So with that in mind, there are plenty of online resources that you could bill your company under miscellaneous expenses. Hope that helps, Mike. Another question in the chat. Who is your biggest inspiration when it comes to your work? Great question. I would probably say my mother. She had to put up with my father a lot. He ran a brothel in downtown San Diego's library for many years, and it was a source of embarrassment for her. Not to mention the fact that actually some brothels had also been set up in some of the child daycare centers. And The fact that she had to weather that storm has been an inspiration to me. Business-wise, I would probably say Michael Bloomberg. I mean, what's that like? Trump, I mean, take the politics aside, a man who looks like a tangerine but gets people to listen to him. I mean, that is gold dust. So I'd probably say, yeah, those people, but mainly my mother, God rest her soul. And she's still here. I don't want to say God rest. Well, hey, you get what I'm saying. So thank you for your question. If you could employ 3 celebrities, who would you employ and why? I would basically employ everyone on the Italian Job. That's that one knocked out. Okay, another email has come through from, yes, an email from Tyler Tylerson in Birmingham, Alabama. Michael, I am currently managing a pregnant employee. Is there any upside? I'm unsure if he's talking about a man or a woman here, or indeed, it's unclear whether he has made the employee pregnant or someone in his team has made the employee pregnant. But I mean, that's a whole HR case I won't deal with now. Well, let's assume it was an external impregnation. So Tyler, yes, there is upside. People who are pregnant tend to be very happy and joyous about their life-changing event, unless of course it was unplanned, in which case you will have a manic depressive on your hand. But what I would say is the other upside is you will also be getting rid of a problem employee very soon. The downside actually happens when the baby arrives. You will be inundated with calls, messages, and emails saying, oh, my child is unwell, or I have to take my child to the doctor, or I have to pick up my child from soccer. Oh, I brought in some pictures of my baby. We all have to look at it. That is the downside. It's when the baby arrives, not beforehand. So hope that helps you, Tyler, and yeah, I'd get that DNA checked too. Email in just now from Dirty Cougar 69 at AOL.com. Good Lord. I didn't even think AOL existed anymore. Dear Michael, I have suffered from sweaty hands since an early age, and I feel it has significantly hindered my career. How can I avoid shaking people's hands in the workplace? Finally, somebody benefits from the coronavirus social distancing. Well, Dirty Cougar 69, I would suggest many things. Try the Native American How. That isn't culturally insensitive. Just before you say, I went on a 4-week intensive course on diversity and inclusion, so I know all about that. You could try pointing, although I found that older colleagues and clients find that rude. There is also the fist pump, which I used at the Young Business Entrepreneur Awards under 5s category last year. That went down a real treat with those little toddler financiers. The other thing you could try is you could carry salt sachets on you. I mean, you're going to be having buckets of salt with you, but or you could try gloves. Simple solution: surgical, woolen, or gas station gloves, or indeed finger topless. Try it out, mix it up a bit. The other thing you might want to do is disclose your disability at the start of every business meeting. You may want to make others aware, make them feel comfortable, and know that your hands are basically like wet damn fish. So thank you, Dirty Cougar 69. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we've got a little bit of time left. I'm having a look through the chat right now. Let me see what okay. Great one. What is the best way to stand out in a group interview? Talk over everyone. Simple. Any advice for me? I've had a blue collar worker who doubles up as a union rep. Oh, now this is dreadful. I've got a blue collar worker who doubles up as a union rep move in next to me. That is dread. Now, what you need to get rid of this person. They will be nothing. I did have an email in from a stranger in Glasgow, and I'll maybe get to the emails later on. Basically, trying to say, how do you get rid of people? You cannot kill anyone on your company's premises. That is against the law and also against the company's policies. But if something happens to them on a work night out, so be it. So, yeah, you want to get rid of that blue collar worker pronto. Okay, question from a farmer. Can't work out if that is a noun or initial followed by surname. A. Farmer, Limerick, Ireland. Hello, Mickey. Loving the online Q&A sesh. Is it okay to bring animals into the office? Yes. Last year at Best in Business, we had Bring Your Pet to Work Day. It was a lot of fun. And actually, as a result of that, we fired 9 employees and replaced them with their pets, 5 dogs, 2 fish, 1 hamster. And we added a Vietnamese pig as a non-executive director to our board. They were incredibly productive. They're great with clients too. And they've really helped our diversity and inclusion quota, it's fair to say. In fact, actually, one of the dogs has actually only got 3 legs. So another box ticks there. Thank you for your question. Anything else in there as well? Let's have another look. Oh, yeah, one just through the email. Now, emails coming in. Self-pleasuring was banned in all US states in the office since 1972. However, if you're working from home, yes, it's fine if it's softcore and it adds to the story or the presentation that you're watching. A colleague of mine brings raw meat into the office. Should I refer him to occupational health? Of course not. It's a well-known fact that the smell of raw meat really gets testosterone running and really increases productivity by 38% in males, 22% in females, and 68% in those that identify as non-binary. So there you go. Don't refer him. What is the appropriate length for a trouser suit leg? Down to the shoe. And is it okay to smack a woman's ass in the workplace? Well, unfortunately, since the Human Rights in Business Act passed by Congress in 1991, you can no longer smack a man, woman, or child in the workplace. Mama, I know what you're going to say now. Michael, what about in the bar after work? Absolutely fine. Okay. Any other questions coming through now? I think we're pretty much running out of time. I have one here. It says, if you could employ 3 celebrities, who would you employ and why? I feel like I've done that one already. Some mornings I wake up and I want to be bisexual, but it turns out that I'm still straight. What doubles up? Oh, that's just being deleted. I didn't delete that one. And I wasn't going to answer her anyway, but I was going to say, perhaps we could I'll give you my address and we could talk things through. But that is it for today. Thank you for joining Michael O'Hare's Best in Business live Q&A session. If you're interested in doing more, you must let me know. Michael at bestinbusiness.org or on my Facebook page. What I would say is if you didn't like it, then please email Barbara at bestinbusiness.org, and she will take full accountability for this failing. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining. Good luck with your lockdown if you are being locked down, and stay safe and keep well. Goodbye, my Best in Business followers.